Violence appears to be running rampant among our teens and young adults. They're killing each other and their parents in some cases. There have been too many cases in the headlines this year. Here are a few making national news. Everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
16-year-old Samuel Jazaa is charged with murder in the first degree, murder in the second degree, assault in the first degree, and unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree, after he allegedly fired into a crowd inside the Alderwood Mall in Washington State in early July 2024. Reports allege Jazaa got into a fight with other teenagers inside the mall when he pulled out a firearm and began firing into the crowd, resulting in the killing of 13-year-old Jada Woods Johnson. The moment in question was captured on multiple camera angles. The firearm used has not been located. In the last court hearing, it was also the first day of school. Jada would have started 8th grade. Jazaa is being tried as an adult, and his bail is set at $2 million. Defense for Jazaa is claiming that he was ambushed by others trying to harm him and he acted out of self-protection.
In Wyoming, new details have been revealed in court over the gruesome death of 14-year-old Bobby Mayer that occurred in April of this year. The teen's girlfriend called him when she visited the East Ridge Mall to let him know that she was being followed by two 15-year-olds, Dominique Harris and Jareth Plunkett, and it made her uneasy. Bobby raced to the mall to help her. According to preliminary hearings, there is reported video footage that someone captured on a cell phone showing Harris and Plunkett wearing masks and confronting the teen at the entrance of the mall. As soon as the boys saw Bobby, they allegedly pulled out a kitchen knife they had stolen from Target. Bobby was heard telling them it wasn't fair and that he didn't want to fight. Then Harris allegedly slammed Bobby on the ground and held him there while Plunkett used the knife to stab him to death. Prosecutors say the crime was triggered by an incident at the park a week before, where Bobby called them freaks when he saw them exiting a porta potty together. The trial is currently scheduled for September 23rd, although the judge said this was a placeholder date. The exchange of evidence with prosecution is still ongoing, but there is currently 2 terabytes of data to go through, most of it related to interviews and the cell phone data of the other juvenile witnesses. Harris and Plunkett both face a maximum penalty of life in prison.
In July, police arrested a Palm Bay, Florida teen accused of fatally shooting her mother and her mother's younger boyfriend. The report states Julia Egler broke into the mom's room and stole her mother's gun and ammunition. With the gun in hand, she had also armed herself with a chef's knife before waiting in the kitchen for them to return. Moments after Egler told the two welcome home. Detectives said Egler shot and killed her mother, Kelly McCollum, 38, before shooting the mother's boyfriend, Matthew, 22. Egler then began stabbing Matthew repeatedly before shooting him once more. Egler's motive seems to be centered on long-standing conflicts with her mother regarding the age difference of her boyfriend and alleged disagreements related to the teen's desire to transition. Police said that the teen called 911 while acting hysterical and claiming that a man broke into her home. Officers quickly responded. Inside the home, detectives soon discovered bloody footprints matching the girl's shoes, among other evidence contrary to the false 911 call. The teen reportedly told investigators that she had hid in her room with her dog while an unidentified burglar ransacked the residence. She even tried to make it appear like someone broke into the home by smashing the window. The teen is facing 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder. She will be tried as an adult but will not face the death penalty.
Is there anyone else at home with you?
Not anymore.
Oh man, I know this is really scary. Your mom and her boyfriend should be on their way home?
No, they...
Okay. Take a deep breath. We'll get in touch with your parents just as soon as officers get there, okay? You still have your dogs with you?
They're just still in my room. I didn't let them out because I didn't want them getting blood all over their paws.
Well, did you say blood all over their paws?
Yeah, because...
Whose blood is it? I just want to confirm. Do you know if anyone is hurt at your house?
In Cape Coral, Florida, 2 teenagers accused of shooting and killing 15-year-old Kayla Rincon Miller have been indicted for first-degree murder. The state attorney announced the indictment of the 16-year-olds, Thomas Stein and Christopher Horn Jr. They're also facing 3 counts of attempted robbery while possessing a firearm. In March of this year, police say Kayla was shot during a bizarre and violent attempt to grab her purse. Investigators say she was walking with two friends from the Coralwood Marquee Cinemas to a nearby McDonald's when they were confronted by one or more individuals in a car. Two were later identified as Stein and Horn Jr. The maximum penalty that these two face is life in prison. Due to being juveniles, they are not eligible for the death penalty. Since the arrests, 3 family members related to Horn, his mom, dad, and aunt, have been arrested in connection to the case. According to Cape Coral Police, the family members threatened Stein's mother to keep quiet and to not cooperate with police. At this time, no other arrests have been made in connection to this case. In a press statement, it was said, "There have been many layers to this senseless crime and this in-depth investigation." Court documents for the indictment have not yet been made available. Police have not said which suspect is accused of pulling the trigger.
Today, a number of cities are reporting a new rise in violent crime among youth. In many cases, law enforcement says social media played a central role. From Maricopa County, Arizona,
Connor said he was confronted by about a dozen teen boys. The leader demanded $20, and Connor resisted.
I've worked for this money. You're not just going to take it from me right here. So I said no until he punched me with brass knuckles. The whole time there's blood just gushing down my head. I was shaking and crying because I really didn't know what was going to happen to me. I didn't even know if I was going to live. It was really scary for me.
The teen who assaulted Connor was part of a group who called itself the Gilbert Goons.
There's videos of him fighting people all over the internet.
The group members were known for posting videos of each other flashing guns, ganging up on teens, and street racing. Examples of teen violence span social media and the country. From Missouri, where a 15-year-old girl attacked another teen, landing her in the ICU, to Stockton, California, where a group of teens filmed the and robbing of an 8-year-old. The violence by the Gilbert Goons, which although recorded went unchecked by law enforcement for the better part of a year, culminated in the death of 16-year-old Preston Lord last October. While a group of attackers pummeled him, some teens called 911, while others stood by, recording on their phones.
Why do you have 40 kids with a camera recording violence? I saw a 5-second video of Preston right before they did CPR. And I don't ever want to see a video like that again in Gilbert. Now with social media, it's creating personas that these kids usually really wouldn't be if they didn't have the social media.
A 30-minute drive from Gilbert, Commander Gabe Lopez says the number of teens murdered in his city last year rose significantly from the year before, as did the number of teens charged with homicides. Lopez is head of the Phoenix Police Department's Violent Crimes Bureau. He points out the scene of a shooting late last year during a particularly violent stretch.
I think a total of 9 victims are what these 2 individuals were charged with. So of the 4 people in the car, 2 were charged with the homicide.
And they were juveniles?
They were juveniles. And again, the victim was 15, the suspects were 17, and then, you had a 10-year-old.
Federal statistics show in 2020, homicides committed by juveniles were the highest they'd been in 2 decades.
Youth culture has moved in the direction of celebrity is, the number one value.
Psychologist James Garbarino has spent decades researching adolescent violent behavior.
The cultural immersion in violent imagery is so powerful in the United States. And of course, the rise of social media as a context in which those expressions can be offered is certainly, it's not just limited to 2020 and onward, but it has escalated as well.
Jeremiah was shot and killed at a fellow student's home in Mesa. He was 18, weeks away from graduating high school.
The teammate who lives in the house, along with the young man that lives across the street, were pointing guns at Jeremiah multiple times and recording it and posting it to Snapchat.
In the video described to her, Lopez says the laser from the guns pointed at Jeremiah shone red dots on his face.
One time Jeremiah says, "Hey, chill." Another time Jeremiah is trying to make light of the situation. A little under 30 minutes later, my son is fatally shot in the back of the head.
They looked at his chats and there it was. I hit this guy and he gave me $20.
Connor says a lot of teens have been afraid to report on their peers for fear of retaliation.
Teens need to come forward and stop being in the shadows, stop recording these fights, instead do something about it and make our communities a safer place.
Do you think there's an increase in violent crimes among teenagers and young adults? Or is it that we are just all more aware of it now because of technology? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below.